I'll beat you up. I'll do it.
Fuck!
I hate you all.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Boneyard Arcade podcast. As always, I'm Lucky.
I'm Chloe.
And I'm Josh.
We are down a Dan today. We got here and we were like, let's ruin all of his shit. But then I remembered that he's a collector and shit's expensive. And I don't particularly want hungover, 3-day wasted Dan to come back and be like, which one of you cunts fucking broke my whole fucking room?
We did burn a few things, but I feel it was for the best.
For the record, it was them. Them.
Chloe was...
I live here.
He's got to figure out which things. And that's the mystery. That's the game.
Yeah, well, we just, started a couple of fires in his room while he was in PAX. Probably having a fucking great time.
Yeah. Stay safe, please.
Don't. It's more fun when you come home and you're like, oh man, I got arrested when I went to the brothel.
Caught mega AIDS.
Yeah. Space AIDS.
It's not as bad as super AIDS, which is a serious disease and must be treated as such.
Well, I did tell him to come back alive, so if he comes back with super AIDS, I guess that's it.
How
still
alive,
alive.
though?
I didn't really specify, and I know he will take that against me.
That's true. He'll come back and he'll be like missing limbs and shit, and he'll be like, I'm alive, and you'll be like, at what cost?
I
Kind of
donated
thing.
my liver, kind of cost.
Yeah. As you can tell by our spoopy setup, it's cute. Well done, Chloe. You did a really good job of it. That it's our Halloween episode. I think this comes out like 2 days before Halloween.
Yes.
Something
on
like
the
that, yeah.
29th.
When's Halloween? 31st.
31st. The next Wednesday.
I
All
always
of
on
October.
Hump Day.
Hump. Are you going to get some pumpkin tits out?
I'm going to get my pumpkin tits out. I'm going to have a humpy Halloween.
All right, then.
I
There's-
couldn't wait to say that. I'm so happy.
I think we have a podcast title.
Humpy Halloween. Fuck. Jesus Christ.
I finally came up with one. I've never come up with a title.
You're always welcome to come up with titles.
I know, but
It's-
I'm really
You've been
bad at
directly
them.
related to a title.
I know, but that
Incest Island.
That wasn't a title
was
of the
you,
podcast.
I said Interest Island.
It wasn't the thumbnail, though, was it?
It was a title.
can't remember.
I don't know.
I know I just didn't come up with it, and that's all I'm excited about right now. Let me have
You
my
did
glory.
good. And it'll be funny when we don't use it.
I was going to say, you'll have to A, remind me, and B, hope we don't top it.
I'm putting it up on Twitter. I'm gonna win.
Chances are we won't top it because when we're coming up with the titles and like thumbnails and stuff for the podcast, it's usually like Sunday night. Josh has to go to work at 7 a.m. the next morning, and we're sitting there like, oh, fucking, I don't know, like something alliteration. Yeah, done. Great.
I like a bit of rhyme.
Yeah. You
had
I like to
that
think of myself as a white M&M.
Get out. Get out. I was gonna buy tickets to his Rapture tour, and now I'm just not interested.
Wait,
anymore.
is he on
You
tour?
ruined it.
Yeah, he's coming to
gonna be.
Australia.
He's coming next year.
Next year.
Little rabbit.
Mortgage those organs, I guess.
Can you mortgage an organ?
I don't know.
probably
I know I'm
can,
probably
I
not
mean-
going to Harry Potter and the Cursed Child anymore, though.
Why?
Why?
It's a way too expensive, and there's only like 8 shows left.
How expensive is too expensive?
600.
Okay, that is steep. I was going to say, you're a pretty die-hard fan.
I
Like,
know.
I would have thought,
I've got-
if it was like 200, maybe 300, you could stretch it. But 600's pretty
like,
steep,
don't
especially
get
if
me
you
wrong,
want
I
two
would-
people.
I would pay for it. But in saying that, when they came out, it was
Yeah.
the day we left for Texas. So I could not spend any spending money then.
yeah.
And since we've been back, we've just had bills after bills after bills. Like, not that I'm trying to cry myself a
What
river,
is
but-
being an adult, though? Like, fuck my
I know.
life.
And an adult in Sydney really sucks. And on top of that, Christmas. So we're literally 2 months out from Christmas, guys. And we got another noggining to do. So that would be good.
I think we decided to jack the noggining up to involve like Christmas meats and things this time.
Yeah, there was some discussion.
Like blending stuff. So we can do a whole like preparation video of blending gross shit. I might have to join Dan on this one just because last time watching him suffer was pretty funny, but the suffering looked fun. So I'm like, maybe we should get a kiddie pool for each of us if we fuck up and get those tiny kiddie pools again.
Dude, I did the raw egg. I think I've done my grossness for the year.
I feel like I want to
still think about
do
that.
my own cooking segment specifically separate, but producing the things you'll have to eat and drink.
Why? What would you cook? You can't cook.
No, exactly. Well, I can cook okay.
No, you
Wait,
can't.
can he cook better than me?
I don't know. I've not experienced your cooking.
Chloe's
There's a reason for
Hang
that,
on.
Josh.
Ah, cool. No, I can cook all right.
Chloe's not that bad. Josh,
I-
Josh can make eggs.
For the record, I did live in another state and cook for myself and didn't die for like
2-minute
3
noodles
years.
don't count.
Yeah.
I did not. I was not.
And
a
eating
two-minute
a
noodle
kilo
kid.
of bacon didn't fucking count
I had
either.
never had mee goreng until I went to Perth, and eventually I tried it because.
So you still could have
People
had
had
mee goreng.
Hey,
Never mind.
I'm confused.
Oh no, I'm saying I hadn't had it. I wasn't introduced to that until like my first year or so of
uni.
Like when other people were getting that, and I was getting regular 2-minute noodles and putting tuna in them and stuff like that.
That's
when
so
I wanted,
dumb.
Like,
What? That's so dumb.
you add a nice.
Nobody gets regular 2-minute
You
noodles.
don't put
no one
tuna
does
in
that.
there.
The magic
No.
2-minute noodles are like they puff up more. And they feel more like real pasta.
Because
And-
no, noodles aren't pasta.
You're worrying about that?
They
He said
kind of are.
pasta.
Oh yeah,
That's
true.
correct.
I gotta live with that though. He says, "What do you say? Garage,
Pasta, garage,
Dance.
yogurt.
Get
Yeah,
out.
somebody at my work, only after working there for quite some time, this guy has only just realized that I say dance and chance, and he thought it was hilarious. Literally blew his tiny little mind, and I couldn't believe. I was like, we've been like working together for like
Ooh,
at least
slow
2
clap.
years now. How on earth did you not pick up on that?
I picked it up on immediately when we started dating, and I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna drive me insane. This boy is gonna make me
But
crazy."
look at you two. You're here now.
Haha, tee
Yay. But it's Halloween time.
Yay!
And
Spooky,
what do we
scary
do
stuff.
for Halloween?
Carved pumpkin tits, apparently.
No, that's my own private thing. But
We went and saw some spooky movies,
indeed.
We went and saw
one of which is called
Halloween.
Yeah.
Which is like,
We did that really bad.
which, to be honest, I like when they announced that they were doing a new Halloween movie, I didn't pay much attention to it because I was like, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna wait. I'll watch the trailer and then I'll go in and I'll watch it and I'll let it just happen. And I'm so glad that I did because it was so good.
It was really, really good. Like, Dan and I, well, more so Dan, I get excited because I can see Dan is just like,
Yeah.
in the Dan way possible.
Which is this?
There was a gif right there. 100%. My arm's not blocking it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Dan
like,
gets excited.
I remember the day the trailer came out, he like literally went, oi! And showed me it. And like, I'm amped because I love Jamie Lee.
Yeah.
Who, seriously, can you be my mom?
She's the best. She's so fucking fly. Holy shit, is
goddess.
she fly.
Make a sparkly pink suit.
It was like
Pretty loose.
pearlescent and amazing, and
So
she's
pretty.
and you can tell that she's got such an attitude about her because
Oh,
the way that
yeah.
she was like interacting with the Channel 9 dude, I think it was.
Yeah.
Can't remember. And she was just like,
Richard Wilkins.
yeah, I can't remember. I took a clip of it that maybe we can splice in, or maybe just go check out our
Fun fact, she
Instagram.
called him Danny because she's a badass.
She's a bad bitch.
I love her.
Bad bitch. We could seriously sit here for like the rest of the half hour just
Oh.
being like, bad bitch.
Honestly, but in the movie,
Maybe
she
you
was
should
just
do like
epic.
crazy.
19-hour version of it, and we'll make a second channel.
10-hour
just for that.
remix.
Yeah.
10 hour. She's a badass remix. And there's pictures of Jamie Lee all over. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm
every
getting fucking
era.
sidetracked.
So
I'm
anyway,
getting
the
fucking
movie.
sidetracked. Chloe, how did you like it? And you can like fill in for Dan since he's not here to gush about it.
Oh gosh, like I don't think I could ever explain how good it was from Dan's perspective. He was on such a high afterwards that it was just, we were contemplating watching the next Halloween, but we couldn't get the movie to work, so that was sad. But
Aw.
just talked about it all night. And
Yeah.
just the way that it was shot, the storyline like they went with, like kudos to the writers of it. It was a fucking epic story. A great
good.
continuation after the original.
It wasn't too like complicated, like because you haven't seen the Halloween
Yeah,
movies.
I haven't seen the original. I haven't seen anything else from the series. I didn't even watch the trailer. I from having like a general knowledge of pop culture, like I put the pieces together. I didn't know which bits of my pop culture knowledge came from, Halloween and what didn't, but I started to pick up on things. So I was not totally in the dark, but I had no real clue. But it was cool to see where all of the references that I know came from.
How many pumpkins do you give it, Josh?
Oh, we'll get to that.
I liked that it wasn't like too over the top, like psychological kind of insights to Michael Myers as a killer and stuff. It was kind of like, he's back, motherfuckers, and everyone's like, oh shit, and then just like bam, straight back to like the original slasher style, like horror movies. And I think for a lot of it, like recently, we haven't had the like single killer slasher style movies because we've been getting lots of like the paranormal activity kind of movies and like things like The Conjuring where it's like all supernatural stuff. It's not just one dude walking around with a fucking butcher's knife like stabbing people to death. I think we've kind of like,
And it's all about the mystery, not about like, oh my god, this person's doing stuff. What are they going to do next?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Like
good.
not just working out who is doing it.
Yeah.
It was actually really funny because Dan and I were saying that with this movie and how well it's doing and how it's just been critically acclaimed, we were trying to think back like to all the modern remakes or remakes/sequels
Yeah.
that have come out for the horror genre from those classics. And reflecting back on it, there was actually none that were ultimately decent to me.
None were that good.
I could only think of, in all honesty, and I don't even know if it should count, but like the Friday the 13th with Jared Padalecki, that was the best one I could name.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's good.
Yeah.
But,
But
like-
it's not like, wow, amazing, oh my god, yes, worthy successor kind of thing.
Well, I definitely would have dubbed it a successor. I would definitely say it was good in its own right.
Right.
But obviously didn't have that same element that the original
Yeah,
has on you.
I get you.
You're playing on that character that's just withstood the test of time.
Rather than like bringing it all the way back, being like,
Yeah.
back to basics.
That's
Like,
right.
this is how it rolls.
Yeah.
Do you watch slasher movies? You
I was going
don't.
to say, like,
really.
I think you're, like, purposely keeping away because you don't want to tell us about how spooked out you were about some of the movies we've watched this week. Like, what did you find? What did you
Halloween.
think about Suspiria, though?
I'll give you a
fucking
quick-
hell.
I'll give you a quick thought on Halloween.
Okay.
I really liked I liked the whole thing really. But I appreciated a lot of the
We'll try not to do spoilers.
yeah,
so you can like keep
this,
watching.
This is very general
we won't do
stuff.
spoilers.
This is very general.
Yeah.
It's
Forgot to
I
mention.
appreciated the sort of clear ties to where it came from. Like, you know, it's earned its right to have cheesy moments, have a little bit of 80s about it. Like,
and it was cheesy.
yeah, it had, you know, and it has those moments where you sort of go, I think I know what's coming, but it's not, like, the whole thing's not predictable, and there's a lot of bits where you think you know what is about to happen, and it doesn't play out that way.
Yeah.
So you get a mix of that, but, you know, it does have a lot of the sort of, the stuff you would expect from something that's born of
Like
the
people
80s.
just falling the fuck over,
Yeah,
like being like,
yeah.
I've got to get away, slip and fall, and you're
Yeah.
like, fucking bitch.
Of
See,
course.
the whole time I
It
was
had
like,
to
that's
happen.
me. I'm in that horror movie.
Every time a bitch falls down in a horror movie, I'm like, fucking Chloe.
Yep.
Everyone else is sitting there going, so unbelievable.
Yeah,
And Chloe's
it's
like, it's just like real life.
I did it. I love it.
We had Suspiria as well this week.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
That was a trip. So we get invited to go to movies, and this one was from Transmission Films.
Yeah,
I think
that's
it
right.
was. And I watched the trailer, and I read the synopsis, and I was kind of like, I think I get it. And then I watched it. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I didn't. But it wasn't like I don't get it. This is frustrating. Like it makes me angry or whatever. I was kind of sitting there, and I'm like, where is this? Where is this going? And it was genuine like intrigue.
Yeah, I didn't watch the trailer because I didn't want to go in already like set up to hate it, because I was, you know, hearing, you know, it's super artsy,
It's
it's
arty.
this, it's that,
Yeah.
and you know, oh, you know, it doesn't look so good, that kind of thing. Just sort of a little bit of negativity, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to go in with any preconceived idea of whether I'm going to like or hate this, because that'll ruin it for me. I went in blind, and I won't say I loved it, but it definitely wasn't a bad film.
Yeah.
It was, like you said, it's intrigue, and it has this sort of a plot that unfolds. It's a slow boil, because it is quite a long film. It's like
2.5
2.5
hours.
hours, and I think it's broken up into like 7 acts or 6 acts or something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, you're not far off like a half hour per act kind of stuff. And it's one of those ones where you don't know if you're getting the whole story, I think. Unless, you know, sometimes I feel like I think that, but then maybe I'm just missing stuff and I'm an idiot. But
I
which is
would like
possible.
to go with that answer,
But
please.
it's one of those ones where like I walked out of it thinking I'm not 100% sure exactly what I just saw, whether I missed some bits or whether they just don't want to give you all the details and like spoon feed every element
And
to
just
you.
let you kind of come to your
Yeah,
own
exactly.
conclusions because it's artsy.
Yeah. It was interesting.
Well, yeah, like it's actually really funny that you say that. So, with me and artsy movies, I feel like I'm the dumb kid at the back of the class. That's just like,
What's happening? What is this?
just tell me the point.
Yeah.
Somebody kill someone.
And
Somebody stab somebody. Not me. Sorry.
like it just, I can watch artsy movies,
Yeah.
and 99 of the time, I'm not going to get the artsy movie, but I can appreciate it.
Yeah.
The time of the movie left me feeling that like I literally was going in the cinema, fuck, when can I get out of here? Not
Oh,
because I
knowing the
didn't-
runtime
but
before you
not-
went in.
Well, no, not even that. It was more so like there was a lot of things about the movie that actually made me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Normally I feel like my very predictable things during a movie, like, oh, I'll cry when I have to cry, and I'll get excited, I'll say,
Yeah.
that's fucking awesome. But like, I just was so uncomfortable during the movie, and obviously the nature of it is not meant to make you feel uncomfortable, because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a witchy coven-based movie with
Yeah.
some fucked up ritualistic shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, like, it just made me feel really discomforted, but it was still very interesting to discuss it.
Yeah.
Like the whole car trip home, that's all Dan and I were talking about, just
Yeah.
what would the possible synopsis and what this meant when that happened, that
Yeah.
meant when that happened. So that in itself, with that, like, it definitely ticks the boxes of a very artistic movie that will get you talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
makes you wonder, like, it makes you think about it. And, like, you never know whether or not you got it right.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of almost need to go and talk to the person who wrote it. And even then, it might be one of those, well, it's really up to the way you interpret it. And then it's like, okay, well, does that mean you didn't really have an idea and you put a bunch of things together and hoped something would come from it, or what? But, like, no. Hey, sometimes people do that. Like,
No,
for the
it's true.
HSC, you know, when they're giving you this nonsense and saying, interpret this, interpret
That's
that.
exactly what I did for my HSC major
Yeah.
work in art. I drew a picture. All right. So this is a little off track from Suspiria, but I promise in
get it
high
back
school, we'll get it back there eventually, maybe. In high school, I was typical, obviously it is clever, but doesn't apply self. I was that kid. And so when it came to art, I was the biggest cunt to my teacher, because I was like, I'm really good at practical art. I don't give a fuck about trying to decipher the subject matter and like going into like analysis of it and shit. So much she was like, well, you're going to have to consider those things when you do your major work. And I'm like, want to make a fucking bet. And so I painted some bullshit, and I did it like 3 days before it was due. This was meant to be something that you do over like the course of a year.
I did the same thing with my multimedia.
3 days before the thing, and she's like, oh my gosh, what does this mean? And I'm like, well, what do you think it means? And then she just spouted all this bullshit about being like connected to the world, and I'm like, that's exactly it.
Oh, you bitch, man.
And she was like, wow. And I'm like, suck my dick. But yeah, Suspiria was really well filmed. I liked the way that it was filmed, because it was shot kind of like really dramatically, but
Yeah.
it's also really gory. That's just in case you're gonna go see it and you're not like into like gore,
There's some pretty unsettling
there's
like,
some
imagery.
there's some shit in there. So just
You Europeans like to fuck shit up, man.
yeah, like dude, whoa.
I noticed as well, you were saying about the way it was shot.
Yeah.
I noticed it did a lot of zooming.
Yes.
And you don't
And
usually...
strange panning,
Yeah,
where it
and-
was like janky as
And
shit.
yeah, zooms with... Yeah, I noticed there was a crane shot that looked a little bit...
When she went into
in
the
that-
dance
in that main
thing,
hall.
yeah, and it pulled up and went
as she walked... Yeah.
and it was like so artsy.
And there were some zooms, and it was like a real manual kind of zoom on like a... I mean, I'm guessing it was done very deliberately and probably in a very controlled way, but like it looks like when you manually spin a zoom and it's not quite smooth. And you don't get the speed quite right.
When you
like,
got the
'cause
rumble pack turned on.
There's an art to that. Like to,
I've just realized
it's
that
not a
I've kind of
linear
like
thing.
twirled my legs around each
Yeah,
other as
you're
many times as I
You're
can.
contorting a fair bit. There are ghosts in this
Maybe you're
house. Like,
inspired
are
by
you
it.
possessed right now?
Dude, don't even. Not before Halloween.
Do you think there's
Well, that's
someone
the whole point
dancing
of art.
somewhere?
Sorry, Josh, we're ignoring you.
Man,
The internet will hear me.
I was trying to explain to John the other day that Halloween's just not really. It wasn't a thing in Australia for like the longest time, and he was like, "That's sad," and I'm like, "I know."
It's really sad.
And
Like,
it was like the dudes, like you'd go to people's houses when you were a kid and go trick-or-treating, and the old dude would answer the door and be like, that's not an Australian thing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God.
it's actually amazing. Like I've told like the story to so many of our American friends before,
Yeah.
because there are actual pictures on the internet of people who have put fucking
Signs
signs
up.
up saying that this is not an Australian holiday.
Yeah.
Get the fuck away. We're not giving you any fucking candy. Like this is
Yeah.
you saying this to 10-year-olds, by the way, dude. Like,
Fuck you, man, whoever you are.
old woman.
Jeff. Sandra. No, I'm just making noises.
I was just about to say Jeff. Did Jeff Ramsey?
I was thinking J.
I was thinking with it. Yeah, when you said it. Yeah.
I
ever
totally
speak
thought
of-
the same.
I only ever speak of Jeff affectionately. You'll
I
know
was
what I'm
gonna
talking
say,
about.
Maybe you are truly possessed by a Halloween spirit, but no, we're safe. We're safe.
I've I want to carve a pumpkin because we did that one year at your guys' place and it was fun.
Which
And
you
Remember
are
we
welcome to
carved
do
pumpkins?
this year again as well.
Do you remember when we carved the tiny pumpkin
we
at my
got
house?
itty bitty ones at Josh's house, like this little.
You know,
and
like
we carved-
teacup pigs? We had
Yeah.
a teacup pumpkin.
They
Yeah,
were
we cut
so
those
cute.
every year. They cost $2 at Coles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Well,
want
Well, that's
big
if they
one.
haven't sold out because all the adults, like for like their teeny weeny kids,
Yeah.
get the little ones because they can only use like the little scalpel knives. and I'm just
Yeah,
like,
they can't use the fun
bastards, those
shit.
are mine.
When you get a fucking scimitar and you're like, "Tsu, tsu, tsu, tsu," and everyone's like, excuse me, ma'am, you can't do that in the middle of the shopping center. We will call the authorities. And you say, well, why are you selling scimitars if it's illegal? And they're like, no, you brought that into the shop yourself. And then you get escorted out, and then you have to ask them to bring your pants for you because you left them in the cookies aisle.
And then you
so
ring me
it's
for
weird.
bail, and it's a whole
I'm
thing.
not
Yeah.
giving you bail
I just
money
use
this
my
year.
laser vision.
Oh, Chloe, why?
I have tires to pay for.
Oh yeah, being an adult sucks. You can't get arrested and pay bail and stuff. It's bullshit. I'm half expecting you to get a call from Dan being like, Chloe, I need bail money. And
just
Newton
assume you budget for that.
grabbing the phone, be like, go, bail money, and just yelling what Dan.
What do you mean? Newton's in the background laughing, going, because
Yeah,
he
true.
triumphantly got Dan arrested.
That's true.
That's going to be the story for next week. I love you both. Please don't get arrested. I'm not coming for you.
That was Newton. Did you like my Newton?
That was a
impression?
good impression.
Oh, I
Very,
hope
very-
they don't die.
Very nudie.
They'll be safe.
I think they're gonna go around and like check out the indie devs and stuff, and hopefully report back with cool games
Yeah.
that we can play. Because indie games are probably, I've only been to PAX once, but I think it was my favorite part of PAX was going to the indie place and being
Yeah.
like, play all the random shit that people are coming up with. Because indie devs are like
They're cool.
on another level, like crazy bullshit that you can play.
I liked the indie dev part of PAX because they, you know, it's not like they're not the big one with the name who everyone's queuing for. They're the little guy who needs your business
Yeah.
and is passionate about what they're doing. They're not in it for the money as much as they are to, well, you know, they might be at the end of the day. You have to survive. But like, they're in it because they want to do that as a job and they're trying to make it. So they're really passionate about their thing. They want to tell you all about it. And a lot of them are doing really cool things and trying to find some niche to like break into
Yeah.
the market. So they've got a lot of really stylistic things, or like a cool control scheme, or like,
A different direction that a
Something cool,
game's
yeah.
going in that you kind of
Yeah.
haven't taken yet.
Yeah.
So,
and a
which
lot
is
of the time they're
interesting.
really simple pick up and enjoy it there kind of games. It's not like you have to like, you know, play a full campaign. It's this big story you've got to get into. It's like really cool, simple concept, easy to pick up, impossible to master, which is like the classic video game, you know, recipe.
I don't like those games. I like games that I pick up that I'm immediately good at.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. You're good at it, but you'll never be great at it, and you have to keep on working and working and working.
I like games that I pick up that I'm immediately great at.
Oh,
That's
okay.
not working with me in Overwatch. I've been working towards that ranking for ages and I'm still no good.
Maybe you should change character.
No.
But is that just because you're at a point of grinding now? Like, have you leveled up to a point where you know, like how Pokemon Go gives you the first 15 or so levels, or, you know, first 10 levels are like a real, you know, super, super high curve. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, by the way, it's going to take you as much as you got to get to level 10 to get to 11. Like, you got to go the whole
Yeah.
time over.
Uh,
Exponential.
I don't know. I've just been playing long enough and like for long periods of time in persistently trying to get good, and I'm still no good. I'm level 93 now, and it definitely doesn't look it.
Is that a lot? Do you start at 1?
You do start
That was
at
a dumb
one.
question.
What's
you do
the
start at-
highest?
wow,
Is
fuck.
there a cap?
I don't know what the highest is, but I know that I'm usually the highest ranked player in all of them, and everyone is better than me. So I am despicable.
I used to have a bit of that with Halo, where I kind of...
I'm like that in Team Fortress. I don't have as many hats as people, but I get in there and I fuck their shit, and they're like, "But you have not got hats," and I'm like, "Shut."
I kind of had a little bit of the opposite, but it kind of depends, because I had friends who turned out when everyone got Xbox Live and there were actual rankings you could see, they were all getting up to level 50, and I, well, you know, like high 40s or like high 30s or whatever it was at the time, and I was sitting there in the mid to high 20s or something,
Yeah.
and it turned out I wasn't bad, but all my friends were just really, really, really good, and so I got the baptism of fire.
I cut my own hair today.
Oh yeah, you did that.
I
You
cut
finally
the
bought
sides.
clippers.
I bought hair clippers and shaved the sides of my head, and it is much more difficult than it looked. Like, I saw a girl on Instagram do it. She was like, she had really cute hair, and she was like really cute, and so I was like, oh, I could do that. And then I got home and I'm like, I was halfway through doing it, and I thought I was doing a bad job. I'm like, I'm gonna have to ask Josh to fix it when he gets home.
How
You maybe have to
spooky.
do mine because, like,
No.
the sides are.
No.
It's
too
not happening.
poofy.
No, Josh.
No.
Hey,
No.
if you didn't butcher
No.
your own
That's
hair,
a scary
No.
Halloween story, right
you
there.
can see what you're doing when you cut someone else's hair. You can't really see what you're doing
Yeah,
when
but
you cut your
hair
own.
is stupid.
It's true.
Anyway,
It's very
Alright,
stupid.
do you guys have plans for Halloween?
I want to get horny and drunk.
Horny and drunk. No, haunty.
Horny.
Oh, you did say horny. Okay,
Haunty
that wasn't a
also
mistake.
acceptable.
I was going to say, is that a trick
No.
or a treat?
I'm going to watch Hocus Pocus.
You do my tradition.
I love Hocus Pocus.
Oh, it is
It's
the
my
best.
favorite
I have to
Halloween
make it-
movie ever. You can watch Hocus Pocus with me.
I can't wait. We got pumpkin carvings, we've got hocus pocus, and hopefully a shit ton of candy, which Dan has to bring back from Melbourne because I'm too lazy to go to the shop.
Dan, bring it back from Melbourne because I don't want to go up the shop, which is 2 minutes up the road.
Exactly.
Because
Why would
I'm
I waste that
lazy.
time when I
No,
could be
that's
watching
true.
hocus pocus?
You could be carving pumpkins and getting drunk and watching Hocus Pocus.
That's right. Oh man, I cannot wait for Halloween.
I know, it's going to be so good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I
Kids.
feel like
Yeah.
everybody enjoy Halloween for us, especially if you're in America because it's better over there.
Yeah. Please share us all your photos as well. I love
Yes.
getting more ideas on what I can do for Halloween. Not that I'm going to cook anytime soon. I need my own space for that. Just so I don't burn or scratch anybody. But yes, share us your Halloween adventures.
Yeah, you can find us in the social links below. Send us pictures of your pumpkins, of the movies that you'll be watching, of the beers you'll be drinking.
Ooh, carve us a BA pumpkin.
Yeah.
A whole arcade machine.
Oh, wow.
Jesus Christ. All right, guys, until next time, happy Halloween. Bye-bye.
Bye,
See ya.
kids.